This is Ron Carter. As we continue to find ways to warm your hearts in the bleak midwinter, we want to be able to help you find your fun. And so we're going to visit Portersville and Harmony on this episode of Showreel. Just off of Interstate 79 is a picturesque, beautiful town called Harmony. In fact, the entire town is registered as a National Historic District. And nestled right on the main street, right as you enter the town square, is a beautiful art gallery called the Bottle Brush, owned by Dennis and M.J. McCurdy. I am with M.J. McCurdy, one of the owners of Bottle Brush Gallery and Center for the Arts here in Harmony, Pennsylvania. MJ, thanks for being with us on Showreel.
Thank you for being here and for coming through the snow. The weather's crazy.
Neither rain nor heat nor dark of night shall keep Showreel from its appointed tasks. But this is really a beautiful and eclectic looking gallery. So what can you tell me about the Bottle Brush? I mean, how did all this get started?
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. We're very proud of it. We took ownership of the gallery in August of 2011.
Okay.
The 3 years prior to that, Miranda Berner and her sister Jenny owned it, and they were the ones that came to Harmony with the dream of an art gallery that would showcase local art. Everything in here is made by artists who are either from or live within 50 miles of Harmony.
Oh, really?
Yes, and that was their dream.
Fantastic.
And so when we took over, we just expanded upon that dream. And everything that we do here connects to the mission of joining community to art.
And that is the mission of Harmony?
Yes, for the Bottle Brush, it is.
Fantastic. So really, you took what was originally a thought or a dream of another person, but then you really ran with it. Because from my understanding is that when it was originally here, this was just, the gallery existed just on the main floor. And since that time, you have added on to that gallery with the second floor, and there's actually a record store, which we'll talk about in a little while. So it's really become, the entire structure is dedicated to the gallery.
It is. As you said, originally, when we purchased the gallery from Miranda, there was only the downstairs that was used for art. Upstairs, there was a yoga studio and some storage, and I think there was a room up there for classes in glass making.
Okay.
But it wasn't finished, and the heating and the air conditioning were not in, so when Dennis and I took over, we replaced all of the windows because we were
done heating all of Harmony.
Heating Harmony. We were. And we completely redid the upstairs and created rooms and offices. And as you said, there's a record shop upstairs, and that's exactly one of the projects that we took on to expand upon our mission. There is also a glassware and collectible shop upstairs. It's not very big, but we do have one up there.
And what is that again?
It's a glassware and collectible shop.
Okay.
So little, just small things, not big antiques. People come in looking for large antiques, and we don't carry those.
Right,
but we do have small things. But the record shop is a big deal, and I know Dennis is going to want to talk to you about that.
Well, before we get to that, tell me about some of the artists that you feature here.
Sure. We have 85 artists who show in here.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, 85.
That's incredible.
It's amazing, and they do everything from weaving to photography, some fine art painting. I think the mosaic. We have mosaic guitars that we sell here from Bill Rackey, who's a Zelienople native. They do oils, everything you can imagine that is done here for the arts. They do watercolors, and the youngest artist we have is 18. Her name is Rachel, and she makes jewelry.
Fantastic.
And the oldest artist, and I will not tell you how old she is, but she is in her 90s.
Oh my goodness.
And she does watercolor, and she does scratch art. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And she lives at Passivant over in Zelienople.
Okay, so really it's not only are they within a 50-mile radius, but they're really a variety of ages, a variety of mediums. That's truly wonderful.
Everything you can think, and just when I think that I have seen all of the art that someone could possibly make. Someone else will say, hey, let me come in and show you my art, and it's something different. It's amazing.
So what do you think are some of the more unique pieces you have currently?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we have our mosaic guitars, and that, again, is Bill Rackey from Zelienople.
You had mentioned before we started, he's actually got some pieces in some pretty prestigious places, right?
He does. He's sold 14 of his mosaic guitars to the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville.
Wow.
And the one that is, there's one that is behind you. I don't know if the camera can get that one or not, but most of the guitars he makes are mosaic in design only, but this one has strings, and you can actually
So you can actually play it. So some are just, most of them are just pieces of artwork, but
They
there
are.
at least one you can actually pick up and play it. Wow.
And we have people come in and buy them. Carrie Baker, who is from Harmony, bought one as a gift for her fiance, Todd, and it was one with strings, and he played it.
Fantastic. That's really amazing. So not only do you have a very eclectic mix of artwork, you've expanded into the various floors and things like that, but what other activities take place at the Bottle Brush?
Well, you'll be surprised how busy this little shop is. We do a lot here. I know Harmony seems like a quiet little town. It is, and we love it for the history, and we love it for the quiet way, but we do a lot here. For example, we have a drum here we have sitting here between us. That drum belongs to one of the women who leads the Women's Drum Circle. It meets once a month on the second Thursday.
And this was made by her?
No.
No, okay.
No, but that is her drum, and her name is Pat Bauer. And Annie Mathey is also from Zelienople. She co-hosts this drum circle that they have the second Thursday of every month. We have a women's creative circle that up until January, which is this month obviously, met every month. And women would come in, and there are 50 women who belong to this group. It's kind of like
50 women?
50 women. 50 women.
And how many make it to a meeting at any given time?
8, 10, 12.
Okay.
When they can come, they can. And I started it because I was talking to a woman who owned a business here in Harmony back when we opened the gallery, and she said, you know, she said, I never get to get out and talk to any other women around here. I never get to talk to anyone. I mean, we see each other in passing. And I thought, why don't we, meaning me, right? There's we, me, then there's we, Dennis.
Right, gotcha.
But why don't I just start some kind of a group to get people together? So, and this has been almost 6 years ago, I started a women's creative circle. Every month we try a different art form. It's kind of like, it's sort of like the painty sippy classes that you see where these go, but we do different things. We don't just paint.
Well, what types of things have you done?
Oh my goodness, we've done jewelry making, we've done batik, we have done watercolor, we made Christmas wreaths using vintage ornaments in December of this year. We have done pottery, hand-built. We've tried so many different things, and like I said, every month is a different art form. It's not the same thing. It's $25, and the women show up, and they really enjoy it. I also teach classes here for children, children and youth. I teach private classes that meet after school. I have some homeschoolers who come, so they come during the day.
Wonderful.
And those are a couple different days a week. And I teach the adult classes again, as I mentioned.
Well, MJ, it certainly looks like you've embraced the mission of the Bottle Brush. This is a beautiful facility. It looks like you're giving artists the opportunities to have their work seen where it wouldn't have otherwise. So it's really a pleasure to be able to show this to the folks out there in Butler County, so they'll come back and see us real soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being on Show Reel.
Thank you for having us.
This is Dennis McCurdy. He is also a co-owner of Bottle Brush Gallery and Center for the Arts, along with his wife MJ. But Dennis, as I look around here, there's two obvious components to the Bottle Brush Gallery. One, of course, is all the arts, and then there's the music. But as I look around this space, I notice a distinct lack of digital media. Now, why is that?
Because I'm in love with analog, and I think everybody should be. Analog is evocative. Analog is not listening to music, it's reliving your life.
Okay.
And scratches, pops, hisses, it doesn't matter. When the sounds come out of the old vinyl we have in here, or even the new, people go back to a time and place and recall where they were, what they were doing. And it's the soundtrack and the movie of your life. Because the sounds, the smells, the sights, You know, like I told you earlier when we were talking, you pick up an Eagles album,
Right.
and I can guarantee you that in the 70s and 80s, most people can tell you an Eagles song was the soundtrack every time they got in the car and drove somewhere.
Right.
They can still feel the summer air. They know what they were doing. They know who they were with. That's always true with some variety of music. You know, for my generation, Eagles would have been one of those groups.
Obviously, this is your passion. There are, how many records are just in this space?
Probably about 6,000 or 7,000.
6,000 or 7,000 records just in this space.
Yes.
And that doesn't even include your own personal collection.
Now, this was part of my personal collection. I still got 3,000 at home.
Oh my goodness,
So.
That is absolutely amazing. And just walking through and looking at some of the selections, I mean, it's not just rock and pop. You have symphony music here. You've got R&B music here.
We do. There's the R&B, we have the jazz, standards, old standards, a lot of Sinatra, a lot of the great old standards, folk, bluegrass, country, popular music. We cover all bases. We have a lot of old vinyl, but we also have a lot of new vinyl. I mean, I've got Ed Sheeran, Adele, the Yvette Brothers, anything that I think might appeal to a younger audience or even a mature audience. We have that here too. I order it new. We have a distributor out in Nashville we buy from, because I'm committed to, and Bottle Brush is committed to providing music for the area, and we try to do it at a reasonable cost. In fact, you know, when I see the price of some of the modern albums, I'll go out onto Amazon and other sites and try to bring my price down to what you could get it for online.
It's truly amazing. Now, what kind of age groups visit here?
All age groups visit here. My age group comes here and asks me if I'll buy their collection, which I often do. Much of this here has been purchased from people that are ready to move their collection on and maybe take a trip to Florida. But we've had people here 8, 10 years old to go over to the kids section and buy one of the kids' albums as their parents go through the other albums. I would say mostly what I'm seeing is about a 25 or early 20s, college age, through about 40. A lot of people here either building a collection or in some cases regretting having gotten rid of their collection and now restoring it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And one woman right before Christmas was in here going, I know my husband wants this, this, and this, and he's never forgiven us for getting rid of them. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis, obviously you have an extensive library of vinyl up here, but that's not the extent of it with the music here at the Bottle Brush, is it?
No, it's not. We have live performing artists in here approximately once a month. Our next show will be in March with the Plowshare Poets. We usually take January and February off because of the weather.
Sure.
Plowshare Poets come every year. They do a Gaelic Celtic show for St. Patrick's Day. Usually packs the house. We collaborate with the Harmony Inn. They provide dinner beforehand, so there's a
fantastic
dinner show, fixed price, or just a show only.
So they'll have dinner over at the Harmony Inn, and then they'll come over to the Bottle Brush for the concert.
That's correct.
Wonderful.
That's right.
It's such a refreshing thing to see communities working together like this.
And we try very hard to do that. And I was 4 years president of the Business Association here, and I really believe we all grow here in harmony by growing together. But we also bring in acts out of Asheville, North Carolina, sometimes out of Nashville. Great. We have people come from Ohio, West Virginia, a lot of traveling acts, and then we use local performers often to open for them. So it gives the local performers a chance to showcase. But then the big thing is some of these people who come through here are incredible recording artists on a smaller scale. But they draw a good house, they get an appreciative audience, and we're just proud of our music program. We have connections all over the country now with people that love our venue and we love them.
Well, it sounds very, very exciting. So if I wanted to find out more about the Bottle Brush, about the music program here, about the record store, where do I go?
BottleBrushArts.com is the main website. On Facebook, you can find Bottle Brush Gallery, Harmony in the House for the Music Festival, and Last Dog Records for the record store, obviously, here.
Well, the place is absolutely fantastic. There's so much excitement going on here. If you want to beat the winter blues, the best place to come is right here at the Bottle Brush in Harmony. off Interstate 79 and right nearby Moraine State Park is a small little rural town called Portersville. And right in Portersville is a quaint little shop called Nicolette's Gifts and Goodies, and also Susan Walker Art Studio. So let's take a look inside. I am with Nicolette Tolomeo Germain of Nicolette's shop here in Portersville. And Nicolette, thank you so much for joining us for Showreel.
Thank you for coming. We're very blessed to have you here.
Thank you so much. This really is such a beautiful place that you have here. I mean, right as soon as we walked in and you see all the different rooms, all decorated so meticulously and with such attention to detail, it's really such a beautiful experience just walking in the door.
Thank you. Thank you.
How did all this start? I mean, you've obviously been in business for a number of years. Where did you begin?
Well, I'm in my 21st year.
Really?
Yes, yes. I started in 1997. I opened across the street in a log cabin, a smaller space than this, obviously. And I am a third-generation tailor from my family.
Oh, wonderful.
My grandparents came from Italy, from Calabria, Italy, and they settled in Elwood City. And I was born in Elwood City, and I just grew up in the business, in the family trade. It's a God-given gift for me, and I've been a tailor all my life. So.
And what kind of things do you do as a tailor?
I specialize in bridal and wedding gowns these days.
Oh, okay.
I worked for Joseph Horn Company for 20 years.
In other news, there was a department store called Joseph Horn, which hasn't been around for quite a while, but was a wonderful department store back in the day.
Pittsburgh tradition.
Yes.
Along with Gimbels and Kaufmann's, and so I worked for them for 20 years, and so did a lot of my family members. I was 17 when I started there, and then I love sailing in Moraine State Park and McConnell's Mill. So we ended up in this area, and I opened my business in '97 across the street. Tailor shop. I did everything back then, from men's clothing, anything that came in the door that I would do. And after all these years, I can finally specialize in what I really truly love to do best,
which is the
wedding
dresses,
the bridal, the wedding gowns. And it's about 4 years that I've been specializing in that. I worked for Rigby's Menswear in Zillionople for many years.
Oh, sure.
I did his work for him.
Sure.
For maybe 8 years or so. So I've been very blessed, and as far as the gift shop, it just created itself. I love art. I love to see what other people do, and I think the first item that I carried in my store in '97 was honey, our local honey.
Oh, okay.
Moraine honey.
Do you still have the honey? Do you still sell that?
I don't.
Oh.
He's no longer a beekeeper.
Okay.
But it's only a few years that I stopped selling Moraine honey. But I do have other sources now.
Sure.
But there is so much in here. Everything, I've always focused on USA, small handcrafted companies who have a heart and soul for what they do. And everything in here has a story. There's just so many artists and small vendors.
Now, you had mentioned when we first stopped in, we have all these wonderful pieces of artwork and crafts and things like that. Are there activities that take place here?
There are. We teach classes. We have art classes here. I also, I've become a wellness advocate for doTERRA essential oils about 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And we teach safety and use of the oils, the purity, quality, and how to use them. And so we have classes here all the time for essential oils. They're just an amazing health and wellness vehicle that everybody should have in their homes, in their medicine cabinet, and in their kitchen.
What types of things do these oils do for you?
They do so many things. They can help with health issues. They can help with the way you feel. They're aromatic. I have a diffuser running right here.
Okay.
With the mist comes into the air, so you're ingesting that.
Great.
And then there's also items like the peppermint beadlets that you can carry in your pocket with
you had shared one of these with me earlier, and it seems very subtle until all of a sudden a little bead pops, and all of a sudden you have an explosion in your mouth of,
and all it is,
peppermint.
It's from a plant. It's a God-given gift, another gift that we have to utilize. And plants were around before anything, and the oils have been used since the beginning of time.
Sure.
It's just the purity and the safety and how to use them. So we teach that.
All right, so you do the essential oils classes. What other classes might you do?
That's going to be art, a lot of art classes. And we will combine essential oils with art occasionally.
Oh, really?
Yes, like Susan had a lavender class, and we had lavender essential oils that we focused in with her art. So, and we always have treats. We cook things and bake things, and we always have treats with all of our classes.
And are these classes taking place? Is there a structure to them? Do they happen all the time, or is it just when you collect enough names together to put together a class?
No, they're very structured. They're very planned, and we do advertise. We advertise when they're going to be. We have usually a monthly schedule on Facebook and different vehicles that we use to let people know about them.
Well, how do you get the word out there about this place? Obviously, you know, Portersville is really much more convenient than people realize. It's right off of I-79. But it's obviously very rural. So how do you let people know about this place?
Well, Susan and I are pretty social media nuts, so we're all over social media, Facebook, and our email list that we do email blasts, and we have these flyers that we put around everywhere that we're allowed to, and just word of mouth also.
And what's the phone number for here, for your space?
Would be 724-368-1100. It's an easy one to remember.
Okay. And then do you have a specific website that people could go to?
Facebook is better for me right now. My website's a little outdated, so we send everyone to Facebook.
All right, so Facebook and just do like Nicolette's Tailor Shop.
Nicolette's Tailor Shop, Specialty Gifts, and Heritage Lace, because I also have window treatments.
That's quite a keyboard. We can make that work. We can make that work.
You can do that. I also have the Heritage Lace window treatments here that I help folks with.
All right, and you had mentioned Susan's name a couple of times.
Yes.
We are going to be having a conversation with her because I understand that you two pretty much work together at this point.
Yeah, we do. Yes.
Great.
We're very blessed to be surrounded by so much beautiful art and artists, and it's just fantastic.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking some time with us. It was wonderful talking with you. In just a moment, we'll be talking with Susan Walker. I'm now talking with Susan Walker, who I understand is a bit of a partner in crime here at Nicolette's Specialty Shop in Portersville. Susan, welcome to the show, Will. Thanks for taking some time to talk to us.
Thanks for having us.
How long have you been in this space?
This space, going 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, so you pretty much moved across the street whenever...
Yes, we looked at it together and decided together to make the move, and I moved out of my home studio as Nicolette moved out of her shop.
Right, so this becomes pretty much your permanent creative space.
Yes.
Wonderful. And how long have you known Nicolette?
I've known Nicolette just about forever. Met her, just as she said, coming up into sale and stuff for Moraine, and I had recently moved here in the area, and we quickly became friends.
Okay, so you've been kind of working together off and on all these years then?
All these years, yes.
Okay. Now, I understand there's a bit of a story you have about how you end up partnering on certain events and things like that.
Yes, like I said, Nicolette's has pretty much carried my artwork all along, and one day I was in checking, just chit-chatting with her, and she had presented this idea about a hot August night event where she would have different artists and food and music to the Butler tourism.
Oh, so she had this idea that she wanted to present to the Tourism Bureau.
No, she was just chit-chatting with someone there because she was on the board at the time. And lo and behold, it had gone ahead and been printed in their large calendar of events. But when she found out, it was more like June.
Okay, so this was just an idea she had.
Yes.
The Tourism Bureau went ahead and published it
ran with it. Yes.
And then what happened from there?
So she's a little panicked, and we're talking, and she's like, "Oh, you won't believe this. It's in print. What am I going to do?" And so that's how we started to really collaborate. And I jumped in and said, "I'll help you out." And
so this hot August nights actually came together.
Did come together in a matter of about 3 weeks.
Fantastic.
Had this phenomenal event that we've continued to do in one form or another each summer. Last year we had
so it's actually become an annual event.
Yes, last year we hosted it and made it our grand opening for the building here and us being here. So
that's really amazing. Wonderful. Yeah. So what kind of artwork do you involve yourself in? What kind of media do you cover?
I currently am painting mostly it's considered mixed media. Mixed media can be any kind of combinations, but my combination is typically acrylic paints, papers, different textures that I can do with gesso and different mediums. Stamping my favorite is bubble wrap, using that to create a texture.
Using the bubble wrap to actually
as
put
a
on
paint-
as a
yes, and put-
paintbrush almost.
Yes, yes,
Interesting.
palette knives, maps. I like to work a lot with maps and bringing in memories of places for people. It ties into the artwork if it's a commission. I recently did a pet portrait for a dog, a beagle, who hunts in the Butler area. So we used the background of the Butler map where she hunts
Oh,
and
fantastic.
tied it all together to, bring more meaning to the piece.
So when you take a commission, it really is something that's very, very personal, it sounds like.
Yeah, weddings and just about any gift idea.
Wonderful. And
Yeah.
so when you're not painting, what else are you doing in the space here?
Oh, I do a lot of, we do classes. I love to journal and sketch. I have 4 children, and so as my art career moved from being an art director years ago in an advertising agency, I continued to freelance, and it has developed and grown. But one thing I've always done is kept a sketchbook and journal, so I share those techniques and how I make everyday life work and still fit in some creativity. So we do, I do drawing classes, painting classes, we do kids camp. I paint
what
in
happens
Sims.
what happens with the kids camp?
The kids camp, I have a couple weeks in the summer. I usually do short 3-day ones so people can still enjoy their weekends. And I offer them a couple times in the summer. And the kids, we use the outdoor space, expose them to paints and materials that they might not otherwise use. Parents love it because they make the mess here and they just go home and I get to clean it up. We do cooking. We'll usually finish up the workshop with a gallery show where the parents will come and see that all our
that sounds
pieces.
very exciting.
So yeah, I hold back the artwork and then we display it. Last year we had them strung in the trees for the summer, and then the kids made pizzas for them in our kitchen and served them like a little gallery show would be.
Terrific.
Yeah, so we love to have a shared experience, just not come, sit and do something and go,
Sure.
but we love goodies and treats and just to pamper people and just to have a good time.
So you have the
Yeah.
kids summer classes, and what other types of classes do you hold?
Well, we
here?
do the very similar with adults as well.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
so we do the typical, the paint and sip type style things. We've done them for birthday parties, bridal showers, and I'll guide them through
Fantastic. That sounds
painting.
really
And
a lot of
course,
fun.
we have to have goodies and treats, and they can, bring their own favorite beverage, and we provide, some sort of iced tea or non-alcoholic beverage, but they're welcome to bring anything that
And
they'd like.
all
and
those
the treats.
activities take place right here
Yes.
in the building.
Yes.
Fantastic.
In the building or out in our garden, come nice weather.
When the weather decides to
permits.
break a little bit,
Yes,
that would be a
yes,
wonderful
yeah, we
thing.
love using all the space.
Now, do you have your own website, or do
I
you
do.
share Nicolette's?
I have my own website.
Okay, what is
and,
that?
Susan Walker Art.
SusanWalkerArt.com?
Yep, that's it. Yeah, very
Fantastic.
simple. So I list all my classes there, all our events, anything. You can sign up for my newsletter there, follow the classes. I also do Facebook very strongly and Instagram. And again, those are all SusanWalkerArt.com, Facebook or
Fantastic.
Instagram.
Well, it is fascinating. I love this piece that we have right here.
Yeah, that's one in progress.
Wonderful. And the space is gorgeous. It really is just I'd say it's cozy when you come here.
We call it our happy place. It's really easy to come here and do your work.
Well, there is no better way to describe Nicolette's shop and Susan Walker Art than cozy and a happy place. Thanks so much for joining us
Thank
for
you.
Showreel.
Thank you very much.
Yes, it is the bleak midwinter in Butler County, Pennsylvania. But as we've demonstrated, there's all kinds of activities to warm your hearts, from visiting a local tailor and gift shop in Portersville to the art gallery in Harmony. It's practically Christmas 2.0. I really can't stay, but let's try that again. Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring ting tingling too. Come on, it's lovely. All right, we'll see you next time on Showreel. If you would like to find out more about arts and culture in Butler County, PA, be sure to visit the online calendar on the website of the Butler County Tourism and Convention Bureau.